cover that now. Okay, let's go on to the adjectives as nouns. Still on 2-1. In English, nouns are sometimes made from turn this from adjectives as in blessed are the poor. While poor usually explains or modifies another word, here it stands alone and becomes a noun equivalent. The Greek language does this more than the English does, and it calls the substantival use of the adjective. Infinitives. English manufactures nouns out of verbs by making gerunds, adding an ing, as in swimming is fun. However, the Greek language does this by using infinitives. To swim is fun. And so what the writer is explaining here is this, that in the Greek language there is something, in these parts of speech, which is called the infinitive. We are familiar with the noun because we could compare that to English. We are familiar with the adjectives. We could compare that to English. The infinitive works like this. English manufactures the nouns out of verbs by making gerunds, adding ing. This is the example. Swimming is fun. So in English, we add the ing, which makes it a gerund. What does the Greek do in the infinitive? The Greek language does this by using infinitives. And this is what the Greek language will say. It wouldn't add the ing. The Greek language will say, to swim is fun. Instead of swimming. In English, you add the ing, swimming. In Greek, the infinitive will say, to swim is fun. So when the Greek infinitive has an article, the in front of it, think of it as a noun, the act of swimming. And so the infinitive, there is something, and we will go over this also, there is something in the Greek language where did my marker go? Okay. And so, we have the infinitive, right? How do we distinguish that from English? In English, English adds the ing, making it a gerund. The infinitive doesn't add the ing. The infinitive kind of changes the syntax. And so in English, swimming is fun, added the ing. On the flip side, in Greek, the infinitive will say, to swim is fun. Okay? Now, let's go on. When the Greek infinitive has an article, this is what another thing that we have to be familiar with. It's called an article in Greek. And so, when the article comes in front of it, it acts as, think of it as what? The act of swimming. And so, what we want to do, we want to familiarize ourselves with nouns. Keep in mind, in English, these nouns have genders, masculine and feminine. Remember, when it comes to the Greek, there's also the neuter. Okay, keep that in mind. We want to understand the number. When we're talking about number, we're not talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Number in Greek is either singular or plural. And we say, what number is it? I'm asking you whether it's singular or plural. There are cases in Greek. Like I say, we're going to come back to this. because it's very in-depth. Normative